In this series I will help you to effortlessly play through Secret of Evermore, but please be aware that I will not cover every step of your journey. Look, the game cannot be finished in 1 or 2 hours unless you are a speedrunner, and I respect your ability to play through most of the game on your own. So I will only cover all the tricky and optional things. In particular, I will show you how to get all optional alchemy formulas that you don't automatically find, how to obtain all charms to boost your character, and provide some additional tips and tricks like free equipment, cheap vendors, and some boss and dungeon strategies. Because the game is decently long, I will not cover everything in one video and divide it into digestible chunks, so the first part will guide you through the prehistoric age, and there are most likely 3 more parts to come. And with that out of the way, here's how to play without shore through Evermore. After the short intro scene, you first have to fight your way through the South Jungle. You should clean out this place completely so that the nerd, that's the main hero by the way, gets 1 level up, and make sure to get the petal from the lootable pot early on. To preserve your hit points, always approach the flesh-eating plants diagonally or bait out their attack before you strike them. In addition, if you want to prepare for the first big boss later, sniff out the clay and oil spots with your dog and then proceed north. You can re-enter the South Jungle from the next screen, which respawns all enemies to gain some more experience. If you want to farm that way, just make sure to not go into the middle of the screen where the leaf falls, because that will trigger the next fight against 4 Raptors. Although losing in this fight is not lethal and your dog will drag you to the next village, you will get some valuable items by winning. The easiest way is to stand a little bit off center between the 4 bushes, because here the charging Raptors will not hit you, but you still have to evade their following attacks before they disappear into the bushes again. Using this tactic and your previously found petal should win you the fight. You will get some talents, a petal, and a couple of valuable crystal and oil ingredients if you explore the screen afterwards. Oil, crystal, wax and clay are the ingredients used in your first 2 attack spells, and you should try to get as many as possible for the first real boss. Furthermore, if you win the Raptor fight, a guy inside a hut in the northern part of Fire Ice Village gives you a free grass armor. And by the way, don't buy anything in this village, as you will get a free set of equipment early on during your playthrough. Make sure to loot everything in town for some oil, wax and clay, but leave the pots in the secret room and in Fire Ice Hut. You can get a biscuit here now, but after the first boss you get a coral bead instead, which is a much more valuable item. At that time there will also be an alchemist in the secret room, so don't forget to come back later. There is a good farming spot in the East Jungle where all the skelly snails are. They give some decent amount of experience and talents, and you can respawn them by re-entering the area. It's also still near the village, so you can heal and save if things go wrong. Personally, I would just grind a little bit until reaching level 5 and having more than 500 talents, but I will let you decide how long you would like to stay here. Afterwards, get trapped in one of the sand holes in the Quicksand fields and buy something cheap from the merchant to get the Jaguar ring, your first and only charm you will get in Prehistoria. You can explore the fields, but there isn't a whole lot of stuff here, just make sure to get the 4 crystals from the pot near the south exit, then go into the Bugmuck. There is a cave right at the beginning where you get the hardball formula, and now you have your 2 initial attack spells. Depending on how much places you looted so far, you should be able to cast something around 7 hardball and 2 flash spells. The alchemist doesn't sell clay for the hardball, but a complete set of oil and wax, so use your talents and buy some. You should increase the total amount of spells you can cast to at least 16, and your 500 talents should be enough to do that. Save the game and go through the Bugmuck. This place is only mildly annoying, and although you can get some more ingredients and consumables, I typically do not bother too much and go straight for the bug cave. Now here comes the first annoying part, running over the collapsing bridges. It's the first instance of the game's trial and error scenarios, and a real pain because there are still maggots roaming around and blocking your path. The correct way to take is east-north, northwest, southwest, north-north, west-north, west-north, east-east, east-north and north. Then go through the rest of the cave until reaching the boss. Thraxx is actually challenging for, being the first boss of the game. Their usual tactic is to kill his arms and attack the chest until it opens to do a strong attack against his heart. But thankfully you have enough ingredients to cast at least 16 spells, which should also be enough to kill him. Just make sure to only target his heart. Now you could of course cast the spells individually as intended, and the best place to do this is in the upper left corner so you don't get knocked back. Or you can use a neat little trick to massively speed things up. See, normally you can only cast one spell at a time when you control the nerd, but if you control the dog instead and cast spells by pressing the X button to gain access to the nerd's wheel menu, you can chain cast spells if you are fast enough before the animation goes off. It's very easy to do and incredibly useful. So switch to your dog and massacre the boss with 2 sets of 8 spells, which looks something like this. After defeating the boss and getting the axe, make sure to also get the Mammoth guards outside in one of the pods and visit the secret acid rain alchemist in the northeast part of the Quicksand fields on your way back. He not only gives you the acid rain formula, hence the name, but also is one of the cheapest vendors for ingredients, so take this opportunity to level up some spells. I usually go for a level 2 acid rain and hardball because those are inexpensive to cast and decently effective for the early game. You can now use the axe to cut down bushes, and after you return to the village, go back into the south forest and hack your way to the northwest exit. You will not only get a shellhead in one of the pots, but also find the alchemist Strongheart again, who gives you the cure formula. Switch to your dog afterwards and talk to him twice, because he will also give you a free collar for being a very good boy. So now you have a full set of equipment and did not pay anything for it, and that's how I like it. Back in the village, Fire Ice gives you 6 core beads, which you can use to summon her for some pretty powerful spells. Just make sure you have at least 6 of them available at any time. Don't forget to visit the secret area in the west now, where you find an alchemist who gives you the defend formula, and loot the core bead here and in Fire Ice hut. Then exit the village to the north. There is not much to do in the North Jungle, loot what you can and don't buy anything from the armor vendor. Proceed northeast and go into the Mammoth graveyard, where you have to fight another mini-boss battle against some lizards. The fight can be a little hectic in the beginning, so don't be too shy to use some of your leveled up spells, especially on the leader once you defeated his 4 minions. I prefer hitting him alternately with a spell and a weapon attack to kind of stunlock him in a corner. You get the Horn Spear and Heal formula as a reward, and the heal spell is super helpful because you can now finally use alchemy to heal yourself. Spear weapons are also my favorite ones because their charge attacks let you throw them for some range damage, so immediately start using it. Once you are on the Volcano Path, you can choose between going to the volcano top or east into the swamp. I always go to the volcano first because there is another boss battle in the swamp and it's a good idea to have your spear leveled up once for him. So feel free to farm a little bit and also give your newly found heal spell some love because it's very inexpensive and much needed. There is a cave on the Volcano Path where you will be trapped with 3 raptors, and after defeating them you get the dino skin. And there are further caves with an inn to heal and save the game, and a vendor where you can buy consumables. If you pay attention during the puzzle where you have to step on these steam platforms, you will see a pot on the right that you somehow cannot get. Don't worry, you will get access much later in the game. Once you get the levitate spell from the alchemist on the volcano top, go into the swamp to get some pepper. There is not much to say about the swamp as you only get additional ingredients, so feel free to explore the place at your own leisure. You have to kill certain frippos to make some lily bridges appear, and you should not have any problems cleaning the place out. The boss can be quite annoying though. The best way to deal with him is to have the spear leveled up once, because he is kind of resistant to magic and has a lot of hit points. I always ignore the wisps because if you kill them, they will respawn the next time he emerges. It still takes a lot of hits to defeat him, and the wisps can be annoying, but you should have no problems as long as you avoid getting too close. You get the pepper afterwards, so you can now finally remove the rock from the volcano bottom, and if you want to level up some more, it would be wise to do so now. You can buy wax from the alchemist at the top of the volcano for the cheapest price, whereas ash, clay, crystals and water should be bought from the acid rain alchemist and oil and roots from Strongheart. You can get an additional call bead directly after you enter the volcano behind a secret passage on the left side. Now the next area with all the lava is pretty straightforward. You have to collect additional mud peppers to move more rocks, but some of them can also be hit with your weapon so that they fall into the lava to create new paths. At the end there is still one more rock to be moved, but first you need to make a little detour to the northwest to get it. In the next section you can get another formula from a hidden alchemist. First go west, then south 2 times and you will find him behind a secret passage in the bottom of the screen. You get more ingredients exploring this section, but eventually you will end up further south and circling back into the lava area by going over the bridge that you saw at the beginning. This is where you get the final mud pepper by defeating the lizard commander, so now you can backtrack to the last rock that you have to move and continue to the water slides. This is again one of those trial and error situations where you have to figure out which current you should ride on. There's nothing of value to get here, you just have to push one button and then find the way to the boss. Take the left slide first, then go up, left, down and fall into the hole. Here you will find the button that opens the gate, and the lizard is also friendly and saves your game. Now take the right slide and go straight up into the hole, and that's where you find the way to the boss. He moves around a lot and does some decent damage, so hopefully you have your heal spell at least at level 2. He heals himself every time he submerges into the lava, so it's a good idea to end the fight quickly by using a lot of spells and charge attacks. After defeating him, the volcano explodes and you arrive in Antica. And that sums up the prehistoric age for now. The next video will cover Antica and there's a lot to unpack there. We will not only get a ton of charms and equipment, but also have to deal with some of the more annoying parts of the game. However, Antica is still my favorite and has a lot of charm, so stay tuned and subscribe to my channel to not miss the next episode. Please like the video if it was helpful and tell me your most annoying part of the game. Anyway, thank you all for watching and I will see you in the next one. Later.